Welcome back, everybody, into part 2 of the Gold Marathon third edition. Uh, if you remember, we closed the previous day, the first part, with a plus 1.17% gain. If you remember, I was not really happy about it, but we took 6 trades, which ended up being 2 wins, 3 losses, and 1 win, for a total of plus 1.17%. If you remember, I was saying that having 50% win rate and losing 2%, 2%, 2% means that in 3 trades I only had plus 6%, plus 7 something percent, because 6% losses plus 7% win is not very good, is not what I would like. I would like to have at least like 1 to 2 risk to reward as scalping. So those were really scalping trade. We took a lot of managed trades. As you can see here, we had to manage the first trade after 20 pips, which is good because you don't take the loss here as well. But at least the good thing was that we took this was a loss, another loss, another loss, and these were kind of, this looked like kind of rushed now that I look at it, because it was against the trend. I think I had some reasoning about it. I already forgot. Trend was very bearish, and okay, one loss. Okay, this one was unfortunate because it was just 10 pips more, but instead of taking this buy, could have taken this sell, which would have been way better, and we end up with a win at this candle. But even here was just 30% at 20 pips, and then the rest at 37 pips. So it was not a nice and clean 1 to 2 risk to reward, since due to the fact that we, as you know, we risk 15 pips every time. So now we are going to the very next day, also the news, very important. So the very next day at pre-London, okay, pre-London, because as you remember, I take the trades mostly in these 2 hours, and maybe if I see some clear action after that. And during New York session, let me just point out this. And during New York, usually, okay. So what do we have today? Today we have the CPI. So this is the month over month. It's very important, and we're going to see it later. This is this week, so it's not important. We're going to see it later about the CPI year over here that they release. We're going to check it, which is very important in this case. They are expecting a slightly lower inflation, but it's not set so due to the high stimulus. So what we got, what we see here on the chart, if you remember, we analyzed the part 1, the huge spike down after the NFP, the immediate correction, and then just chugging away. That we could have been in a range, safer buys above the key level, sells if we break and retest the key level to at least repeat the other one, or even the previous lows, or a bounce up, or even a continuation down. on gold will be very, very important inflation data today. And we're going to see it, how it comes at 12:30. Here on the 1 minute, so we're coming from an Asian session, we are bouncing off the key level. This was a nice Asian open with a like 100 pips move, very, very clean. As you can see, sometimes China open gives nice, nice and clean action with impulsive pullback, impulsive pullback, impulsive pullback. Very, very clean, not the most volume time. You don't see candle like this, but indeed very, very strong. There's no chugging away that, okay, I don't know, and then goes up. So it's really, really good. So as you can see on the 1 hour, we saw a bullish action. And we're now into another block coming towards pre-London open. In a very bullish state. So pre-London might already continue up or make some minor, some small candle, and then during London we might see a retest of the key level, pullback, and then continuation up, or even we can see it now. So let's just jump into it and let's analyze it live. Okay, so we have these PSAs. Let's just update those PSAs from yesterday. We see the price caused some reaction over here, was over here, and we can say over here. This is the key level, and let's see price where it goes. So first candle makes a lower wick already, and then very bullish. Okay, very big rejection. So, of course, I'm not going to take the trade because we are not at a sensitivity area. But what we are seeing is a very nice here my candle setup makes a top wick and then flips bearish, and it's against the trend. It's very small range to take advantage of. We're going to see what it causes. Okay, so we have some confirmation, well, some impact, but as you can see, was only 13 pips. We don't rush any trade. If it breaks below the key level, then we might take into consideration, but as you can see, we are almost starting to see the opposite happening, a bounce off after this order block, or a double bottom at the key level, which is the lower wick that we were expecting. So if we take into consideration these lows, this PSA, then this previous candle makes a lower wick and then flips bullish. We don't have a lot of range, and it will be just expecting and hoping that price goes above the range. So for me, it's better to wait for more volume times and a much clearer trend. But this is a very nice candle setup. If this range, I mean, is 20 pips, but I'm going to risk. I mean, I'm going to risk 10 pips, and I'm never going to risk more than that. So it might make sense. 10 pips is at the key level. 10 pips is too low given the spread. Um, you might take 12 pips, and we have a 2 to 1 to go above the level. It's a very high risk, high reward entry. Let's see how it plays out. This is 12 pips, it's not 15, but we're always risking 2%, so it's not risking less. It's not less risky. Okay, we got our first loss. We got our high risk, high reward loss. This is number 7. There you go. We know it was very high risk, high reward, but price for his rejection. Add another PSA, and we are now against the key level. As you can see, this one was impossible to enter, even gave 15 pips, was not top week, was not even this previous candle. Let's see, it went down and then got rejected and closed very small. So for me, it was no entry. Very next candle, very aggressive bearish. And as you can see, immediate rejection and bounce off. This might be a nicer. Do we have enough range? We have 30 pips. We have 50 pips to go below, 30 pips to our previous PSA. We are still 30 minutes before London Open, so I will take it over here. This is my candle setup. We are in continuation bearish, so it's my setup. Let's see if it plays out. Okay, looks like it will not. After these many rejections, we get stopped out for number 8 loss. Very good. Let's continue and see. This is the first sign of strength, but let's see if price continues bullish. Okay. As you can see, price just we got stopped out for like 2 pips, 3 pips. Yes. Because the stop loss it was 15 pips. If I to put it over here, I would have needed like 20 pips. But even in this case, it would have been stopped out possibly by the spread. Let's just see it. Doesn't change the result. 20 pips. Yeah, possibly it would have been stopped out anyway. Ah, no, okay. And then it would have been nice. But still 15 pips profit, so okay. Anyway, let's jump back because we took the loss. So here 15 sell and we take the loss and it's fine. Okay. And then we see Okay, this is London Open, and that's why it melts like this with this volume. So no top wick at all at London Open, just melting below the key level. Okay, some exhaustion, still no top wick, but huge rejection at the key level. Let's see the very next candle. Okay, still no top wick, but huge rejection on the hourly time frame. Very sketchy price action. If now we see the candle setup, then I think we can take advantage of the higher volume and the huge liquidity grabbed over here. Okay, looks like it continues bearish. And then we made the top wick and a huge aggressive bullish candle. Okay, this was exactly the same entry, and I'm going to retake it after making a lower wick and then flipping bullish here above the previous highs. I'm going to take a buy with 15 pips. What is different from the prior is that we had this huge liquidity grab during London session. Let's see what happens. Our ninth trade. Okay, not really the price action that I wanted, but we are still above the key level. We are still above this previous PSA. This is a nice for me confirmation, but still I see no volume to break above. So this might be the opportunity to, when we are here, to not take the full stop loss, not going to close the trade at break even, but at least avoid taking the full stop loss because we got back to the to our entry area multiple times. So I'm not willing to take the full 15 pips. I'm going to take only 10 pips stop loss and accept it. There you go. Okay, so we took our 9 loss, and we're going to jump into the CPI, which is I'm not going to take any more trade during London. We're going to jump into the CPI news. Okay, actually, what we saw here during the previous hours. So we got the bounce up after the 10 a.m. So I took the buy here. Never broke below again. And then just kept moving up for like 50 pips. Nice. Okay, and let's go to the CPI report opening. This is New York Open. Actually, let's see New York Open, and then we have the CPI news. So we are at this previous PSA on the hourly time frame, which we're going to put it as well exactly here. 484. Which one is this? 209. Okay. Yes, it's better. This one. Let's see now. New York Open. Makes a top week. Goes to the key level. We create a flat candle body support here. Work above the PSA. This is just now 17 pips. And this is a nice rejection entry, rejection candle, but still we have this PSA and we're getting closer and closer to the CPI. So for me, no entry. Let's see at the CPI. Oh, this was nice. Even this one, if it was still valid, would have been like 30 pips, but better not to enter prior to the report. Okay, so here, as you can see, we have 0.5, 0.5, slightly lower CPI than prior. I'm going to see on the 10th of August what was the CPI year over here. It was not the 10th of August. We are on the 11th of August. So we have the month over month was slightly lower. The CPI was still higher, as you can see, 5.4. We are still at very high levels. Year over here, above 4%, above 5%. So I'm expecting an overall bullish action on gold. Let's see now. As you can see, this was exactly what happens. This is a 70 candle, 70 pips candle. I'm going to see in the very next minute if we have a cleaner break and retest of the key level. Okay, the first 5 minutes are always like this. This was no entry because it was already melting up. Like this. We are now moving above those previous PSA. Let's see what is this PSA. No. Okay. Exactly here. We might even take an entry. Very, very high risk due to the high volume that is here. I'm going to give it 20 pips. And let's see. Okay. 23 pips. We get stopped out after getting the 25, 26 pips. Then L. But we're going to see if the New York, the new 4-hour candle is more opportunities. Okay, this is a new 4-hour open. This is a nice candle. Actually, it was already grabbing liquidity. We bounced off the PSA. I'm going to give it another chance. for buys, and we get stopped out for 20 pips on the dot. Now it makes a lower wick. Today is a mess, and I think we are just fighting again. We're over trading, but I want to see. And now we have this PSA. Let's see if we get the wick and continuation up. Not the cleanest. 5 minutes to New York Stock Exchange open. Okay, this is New York Stock Exchange open, lower wick being created. We might wait for the key level, but for me, it's a very high risk. It's a very nice opportunity to enter and to take our double loss. And it flips bullish. We take the buys. And we get stopped out for the 12th time. Okie dokie. So we were just fighting the range all along and hoping that price would have pushed up. But as you can see, it's going to another retest exactly on the dot of the key level. Let's see if we have a break above this PSA again, which is not being much respected. So I will take into consideration this candle, not a nice body. So yes, this would have been a nice win, but short-lived for like, no, I mean for like 50 pips. Would have been a nice win, but and goes to the key level. This might be a nice entry. We are right above after the hourly open. 2 minutes. We made a lower wick. We have 40 pips of range. We're making new highs. And I'm going to take the last buy of the day. There you go. Very good. Possibly a win. Here we are 17 pips. Okay, 20 pips over here. I'm going to close partials. I don't want to risk it too much. And I'm going to break even. We already tapped again the my entry, so this is why I don't want to risk my full entry again, my full stop loss again. 30 pips, 35 pips, we close another 50%, and let's leave the rest. So if it goes to the TP, it's good, otherwise it's not a problem. Okay, and we get 13, a very, very small win, very, very small. So we closed the day in a very, very bad shape. I thought very too much loss, and win, which is a small win. We thought a high volume market, trying to take some piece out of it here with some, I don't know, sketchy PSA that was charted up, possibly in insight. This was just an excuse to have a level to enter here, here, yes, and well, instead having only the key level, replacing the reaction, the bounce off, and then taking much safer buys above the these previous lows, for much safer entries instead of fighting the range as I did. But it is what it is. That's why I'm doing this, to learn how to where to enter. So we close with a minus. So let me write it down. L L L L L L win minus 7.64. So today we lost 8% because we were up 1%. We are now below and losing 7%. So this is it for today, guys. See you guys next time.